Imagine being the smartest person in the room, yet somehow your love life feels like a mystery you can't solve. That's the strange reality for many intelligent people. Success in work and ideas, but chaos in relationships. In this video, we'll explore why that happens, the surprising psychological traps, and what you can do to change course. Stay with me. The answers aren't what you expect. Over the next 13 acts, we'll break down patterns smart people fall into, expose hidden blind spots, and give practical steps to build healthier connections. If you've ever wondered why intellect doesn't equal relationship success, this one's for you. Picture this. Intelligence gives you problem-solving power, but relationships aren't puzzles to be solved. They're living, messy systems. That mismatch creates the intelligence paradox, using logic where emotion is required. High IQ often trains people to expect predictability, neat explanations, and efficient solutions. But love resists tidy methods. This act digs into how smart people lean on analysis and lose sight of mutual human needs. We'll look at real-life examples where brilliant minds try to fix partners or relationships and why that backfires. If you want relationships that thrive, understanding this paradox is step one. Communication ruins or rescues relationships. Smart people often default to debate, lecture, or constructive critique, which feels productive but can come off as criticism. In this act, we dissect harmful communication habits, problem-first language, excessive advice giving, and failing to validate. We'll practice alternative moves, use I statements, lead with empathy, and ask curiosity-driven questions rather than answers. I'll give a few short sentence templates you can use tonight to shift tone and invite collaboration instead of conflict. Small language changes yield immediate relational improvements. Good news! Intelligence can be your greatest ally when paired with humility. This act focuses on how smart people can intentionally change relationship outcomes through learning and accountability. We'll lay out a practical plan. Get feedback from trusted friends. Commit to therapy or coaching. Set measurable intimacy goals and schedule regular check-ins with your partner. I'll also highlight the importance of patience. Cognitive change doesn't guarantee emotional change overnight, but consistent practice, curiosity, and owning mistakes lead to real transformation. Use your analytical tools to track progress, not justify stalling. We've covered why smart people end up in bad relationships, from over-analysis and emotional blind spots to attraction to chaos and fear of vulnerability. Now the moment that matters, specific action. Start with 3 steps tonight. 1. Name one overthinking pattern and limit it with a 5-minute rule. 2. Practice a vulnerable reveal. 1 sentence about a real feeling. 3. Ask your partner a curious, non-solution question and listen. If you take nothing else away, remember this. Intelligence gives you a toolkit, but relationships require courage, humility, and practice. If you found this helpful, share it with someone who needs to hear it and subscribe for more deep dives into human behavior. Right away, ask yourself, do you overthink the smallest things in a relationship? Overthinking turns small disagreements into existential crises. Smart people are great at forecasting risks, but in relationships, that can morph into constant doubt, second-guessing, and decision paralysis. Instead of responding, you rehearse every possible outcome and miss the moment. In this segment, we'll show how rumination damages intimacy, creates emotional distance, and makes partners feel assessed rather than loved. I'll also outline quick mental habits to break the loop, naming your thought patterns, setting time limits for analysis, and practicing first response compassion. Here's something surprising. Being smart doesn't automatically mean being emotionally intelligent. Many bright people have underdeveloped emotional skills because they prioritize logic early in life. That can lead to misreading cues, minimizing feelings, or offering solutions when what's needed is validation. This act explores emotional blind spots, like dismissing tears as irrational or converting vulnerability into data and how they undermine connection. We'll cover practical exercises to build emotional literacy, active listening, mirroring language, and asking gentle questions. These small shifts can make your intellect feel warm instead of cold in relationships. If you're used to excellence, you might expect relationships to mirror that standard. The truth is, perfectionism kills romance. Intelligent people often set high bars for partners: intellectual parity, emotional availability, moral clarity, and judge harshly when reality falls short. That creates chronic disappointment and fuels a search for an ideal that doesn't exist. In this act, we'll unpack how perfectionism shows up as nitpicking, conditional love, or chronic dissatisfaction, and give strategies to recalibrate expectations. Focus on core compatibility, prioritize growth over flawlessness, and practice gratitude for small, real moments. Brains that are skilled at reasoning are also skilled at rationalizing. When a relationship has red flags, clever minds can build elaborate explanations to justify staying. They'll change, or it's not that bad. Cognitive biases, like confirmation bias and motivated reasoning, make you see what you want to see. This act exposes common mental traps that keep smart people locked into unhealthy relationships. I'll walk you through a checklist to spot self-deception. Compare your narrative to observable patterns. Get outside perspectives, and test beliefs with small experiments rather than stories. Truth starts with honest observation. Here's a paradox. Complexity and challenge can feel intoxicating to intelligent people. The puzzle person, emotionally unavailable, troubled, unpredictable, can stimulate curiosity and status as a solver. That attraction to complexity can morph into chasing unavailable partners who never reciprocate fully. In this act, we analyze why novelty and intellectual challenge can masquerade as passion, how scarcity fuels obsession, and how to distinguish healthy intrigue from self-sabotaging chase. We'll also discuss ways to redirect your appetite for challenge into projects and hobbies that don't cost your emotional well-being. Truth, vulnerability is scary, even more so for people who rely on competence. Smart people often guard weakness because it threatens their identity. That need for control makes authentic closeness risky. In this act, we'll explore how defending against vulnerability shows up: emotional withdrawal, defensiveness, or rigid problem-solving, and why that prevents deep connection. I'll share practical steps to practice controlled vulnerability. Start small, reveal feelings in measured ways, and notice the responses. Vulnerability is a skill you can build. It's not a sudden exposure, but a muscle strengthened with safe repetitions. High intellect doesn't always equal social fluency. The social world requires timing, warmth, humor, and reading subtle cues, abilities that aren't guaranteed by book smarts. This gap can make intelligent people unintentionally aloof, blunt, or insensitive. In relationships, that matters. This act dives into the difference between cognitive ability and interpersonal skill, offering concrete practices. Calibrate tone, pause before critique, use more affirming language, and learn to celebrate rather than analyze. Social skills can be learned deliberately, and doing so dramatically improves relational outcomes. Your childhood blueprint matters. Smart people aren't immune to attachment wounds or family patterns that shape relationship expectations. Whether it's anxious clinging, avoidant withdrawal, or enmeshment, early experiences steer adult choices, sometimes subconsciously. This act explains attachment styles in plain terms and how they interact with intelligence: an avoidant intellect that overvalues independence, or an anxious mind that overanalyzes connection. We'll map simple exercises to identify patterns, timeline reflections, journaling triggers, and noting partner reactivity. Recognizing the script is the first step to rewriting it.